Yeah, basically, to speak about the league this season, I think it's really one of the best leagues. So many teams competing for the title. We have seen how the league table keeps changing after every round. There are teams who are vying for the competition. Suddenly they slip to the number 6 or the number 7. And so far, I think the title contenders are like Inter Kashi, Real Kashmir, Churchill Brothers. Everybody playing their best football and trying to be on their toes. It's a neck-to-neck tournament which is going on, and it's very difficult to predict who's going to win the I League this season. I think this is the reason why I say it's really one of the best leagues. In the past, we have seen the teams have been dominating, and the team that managed to be on top, they were like the clear favorites to win the league. But this year, you can't really predict. Even the number 4 or 5 team still has a chance to win the league. And definitely, it's going to be a cracker of the games for the next coming rounds. So definitely, it's one of the best leagues.
Yes, I agree with him. You know, when tournaments like this start, there is a saying that when the tough get going, that is where you see the big ones coming up. When the league started, it wasn't that, but getting to the middle of the league, you can see the big ones are coming up. And this year's league, I think, will be one of the best. Yeah, it's not going to be easy this time around because in the first leg, Churchill Brothers beat Intakashi by 3-1 in Kalyani. But this time around, I think, since Intakashi also gets to know that they also have the upper hand to win the league, they are going to give a good fight.
And I think it's Musa. I'm sure you will agree with me. I think it's about the teams who's more eager to win the league now. The last 4 rounds to go. Which team wants the title more than anybody else? It's Churchill, it's Inter Kashi, it's Real Kashmir. All are fighting very hard. And it's not the matter of home and away games, even though Inter Kashi will be playing an away match to Churchill in Goa. But the first leg we saw how Churchill defeated them on their home ground. That was in fact the first defeat for Inter Kashi. But then for every team, I think it's going to be the toughest league. The reason why we say is for them it doesn't really matter which match they are playing, whether it's a home match or an away match. So I think that match in Goa, Inter Kashi versus Churchill Brothers, will be a cracker of the match. Yes, in fact, at one point of time when I was watching the game, I felt that Shillong Lajong is going to upset Churchill Brothers upper end for Inter Kashi because the previous day they beat Namdari. So, but then the way they made a comeback in the second half, I think this is where the players need to understand. They need to be patient. I mean, Shillong Lajong, they had the upper end, especially playing in Goa. A team from the hills, it's not so easy because the conditions are not the same. But then, the way they were playing in the first half, we really thought either it's going to be a draw match or Shillong Lajong is going to go with 3 points. But then suddenly this equation changed. 3 red cards, 3 penalties, everything changed in favor of Churchill Brothers. I think that's very bad for the team. The team needs to be patient. Like the players needs to understand the importance of this game. So you can't just go for those kind of tackles and you really let the team down. In fact, those players who have been shown the red cards and playing against Churchill in Goa, and that too with 8 men, it's never an easy game. And that's how they managed to win the match by a huge margin of 6-1. But then I think this is going to be the turning point for Churchill Brothers in this league.
Yeah, in the games like this is how sometimes it happens. You can see the smaller clubs beating the big clubs sometimes. It happens all over. You can't understand, and that is football. That is the miracle of football. It happens. So in each and every match that you play as a big champion, you should be ready. In each and every match you play, do your best. Play with the best since you want to become the champion. If you take things easy, that I am the one leading, you take things easy, that is where you are going to suffer. And regarding Lajon, see, the players has to be matured on the field. Patience is the most important on the field. Because if you are not patient, then you are going to lose all your matches. Yes, frustrations do comes, anger do comes, but at the same time, keep in your mind that the referee is there. The referee is the best judge. He is there. If you misbehave, it will take you out. By taking you also out, you let your team down. So you should think about your team and be smart on the field. Keep your mind cool.
So, I mean, what Musa says is absolutely right. And nowadays, things have really changed. In the past, we could still argue with the referees. The referee were like, on the calmer side, like trying to make you understand. But now you just can't go and chase the referees. I mean, in fact, that's a card for you. So the player sometimes needs to understand whatever the decisions are made by the referee, it's very difficult for them to change their mind. So the best way is just keep yourself calm. Decisions sometimes are going to be in your favor. Sometimes it might go against you. So this is part of life because the referees needs to make those decisions in the fraction of seconds. And sometimes they might be right, they might be wrong. So you just need to deal with it. And I completely agree with Musa. Absolutely. This guy has proved himself in the past when he has played for top clubs like Mohammedan Sporting and a lot of other clubs. So he has this potential. It's quite surprising that Dempo has brought him in the late stage of the league. In fact, I feel the way he's been playing, the way he's been scoring in every match, if he had to come during the start of the season, Dempo would definitely be the favourites to win the league. The way Dempo has started the league, everybody at one point of time felt that this might be the 6th I-League title for Dempo. Playing 5 away matches, picking up 10 points, and the only match that they lost was against Churchill in Goa. So that, in fact, started the downfall of Dempo Sports Club. But then the way they've been playing now, the best thing of Dempo Sports Club is they've got the goal getter, and sometimes in football this is what is important. You play well but you don't get those goals, but Marcus Joseph, the way he's been playing, scoring goals, that gives a high boost for the team, and that's the reason why they're performing as one of the champions team. And it's good to see him, and he has the potential. Even though 4 rounds to go, he's maybe 5 or 6 goals behind the top goal getters like Castaneda or maybe Like or maybe some other strikers like Tadin is there from Shillong Lajong. But definitely this guy has the potential and he can damage any of the opponents. So he surely can be one of the highest goal scorers.
And I agree with you. Marcus Joseph is doing his duty as a real striker. He's very good with one against one. He can make his way.
Of course, and see, we have seen him in the past. He's one of the dangerous strikers, and the most important thing about him is a left-footed, and left-footers are always the deadliest left-footed, as we call them. And Marcus Joseph, he has something in him that makes him one of the best players.
It's going to be tough for them to come up. Simple. It's going to be tough for them to come up. I don't see them coming up again.
See, the way we are seeing the league from the top, like many teams are vying for the competition. I mean, championship this year, like it's Churchill Brothers, Inter Kashi or Real Kashmir. I think it's the same happening towards the bottom of the table, wherein 3 teams, if you ask me, I would take the 3 teams and not the 2 teams. It's Sporting Bengaluru, it's Aizawl FC and Delhi. It's very neck to neck. In the last round, we saw both the teams getting the 3 crucial points, Delhi as well as Aizawl FC. But then it's going to be very tough to predict who's going to get relegated in this league. But I think Aizawl are lucky to get those 3 points from Churchill Brothers for some miscommunication or through the management. What happened, maybe a draw or a point for them in that match could have been really a worse situation. But then they're lucky to get those 3 points. But then definitely the difference between Aizawl and Delhi FC is just 3 points, and anything is still possible because 4 rounds to go. But yes, if we talk about the competitors who are competing to win the championship, I think it's also the race for the teams that are fighting for the relegation to know which team is going to get relegated. So that's the reason why we say it's one of the best leagues happening this year.
And to chip in about Marcus Joseph, you can see in ISL Northeast, Aladdin Ajari becomes the goal king. He has scored many goals. He is now going to get the golden boot. And the same thing Marcus Joseph is doing in I-League. He did not start the league, but just as he came, he announced his presence, and he's doing it. And I think he can also take the golden boot.
Thank you so much, Alvito and Musa, for joining us in the Roundup show. This league is really getting very excited. We shall get back very soon. Till then, keep watching the matches on SSEN.